movie, and it's very like forced in there. You can tell, which is why after all is said and done, it just felt like a wasted kind of side plot. But I don't want to spoil too much of it. Yeah, what?
The actress they used in that movie was actually like seriously injured.
Oh yeah, so she gives it like this fatal scream that's like awful because she part of her back broke. She broke a vertebrae or something. Like she was like seriously injured. I read an article where she was like seriously got hurt and was like had to stop her. Luckily she died in that scene, so she didn't have to do it for the rest of the movie. But I mean, she got seriously injured when they flipped her. Yeah, I don't know.
Jasper, have you watched Hellboy?
Mm-hmm. The new one or
the new one?
No, I haven't. I've been wanting to see it with David Harper.
And you know you're related
yes,
to David Harper.
Oh my God!
I wanted to see it. I was really busy, and I also heard it got terrible reviews. But I have it on my bucket list.
It got terrible reviews. Oh no!
Yeah, it got terrible reviews, but
there's
the
some people that just follow Hellboy and they love that.
The comics are great. I've read some of them online. They're
the
fantastic.
graphic comics. Yeah.
It's like Satan, right?
So well, not really. So in 1940, whatever, the Nazis pretty much are trying to find a way to turn the tides in the war during World War II, and they have one of their leaders go to a demonic place and try and summon a demon or demons to fight for them. Sounds silly, but this one dude pretty much tries to do it. He gets sucked into the portal and he mixes with a demon, and this little tiny boy comes out who's just this full red with a giant fist and a tail and horns. He just pops out and he's just like curious.
And that's Hellboy?
Mm-hmm. And then it cuts to about 60 years later. So the guy who found him was like a young photographer at the time, and now he's like an old mentor to him, and he's pretty much secluded himself inside of this organization with other freaks, and they pretty much tackle paranormal activity stuff. But his whole thing is society, whenever they've seen like the elusive Hellboy, the myth of Hellboy, they always seem to hate him, and he just wants to fit in. So he shaves down his horns, which are prominent, and he shaves them down, and he tries to eat. He eats mostly human food, and he hides his tail, and he wears like kind of looks like Hugh Jackman in his clothing.
Oh, okay.
And he pretty much just tries to fit in, but he has a love interest who is in a psychiatric hospital, and he pretty much she has to get out of there because she burns the whole place to the ground. And then they go off on a monster hunt. That's the first movie. The first movie isn't as good as the second one. The second one is fantastic.
And is this the third one now that David Harper is?
No, this is a full reboot. Because the other ones were by Guillermo del Toro, who's a Spanish dude. Or I think he's Mexican, Spanish, whatever. He's had a lot of famous work in the past. And the thing that made his film so great is he used practical effects. He used practical effects, so like Hellboy and the original, his face is just completely practical. There's no CGI on his face. They have a character who's completely aquatic, called Abe. I believe his name is Abe Sapien. Abe Sapien, whatever. And he is 100% practical. I can look up a picture. He's like